Hi guys, it's Joey, and today's video is going to be called something along the lines of what is worth fighting for or living for or something like that. And this is something that has been throwing me through a loop all weekend and has been something I've been thinking about and musing about and different aspects of this. So apologies if it gets a little bit abstract in parts. I've been really trying to pin down what has been causing me to feel about this. I've been feeling quite emotional about it, and we'll just see how we end up. Okay, so the idea of this video is going to be like, what happens, what do you do when you get to a point where you feel like you've sort of lost yourself. You feel like you've sort of lost purpose or self-worth or self-confidence, or certain things are overriding you. Like, for example, I suffer with depression, and some days you just don't win. Some days you fall down. And how do you keep and maintain the will to keep getting back up and keep fighting, and why would you do that, and etc. So the first point that I think I want to discuss is I had noticed quite often when people are going through this, people sort of try and make them focus on other people, like live for someone else. Quite often it's, if you have children, it's your children or your loved ones or whatever. And I agree it can be easier to focus on other people when you're going through pain. Keep doing it for them. But first-hand experiences taught me what happens when a parent truly resents their child, and it's not good. It's damaging for both parent and child, and I don't think it's often spoken about, but we can become parents and we don't suddenly become selfless beings. I don't have children, obviously. I brought up my sisters, and I lost a good chunk of my childhood to bringing up my sisters. So it's a different perspective than having chosen to have children myself. So up to a point, I think that, parents do sacrifice a lot for their children, and it's right to do so. You give up things that are perhaps your own selfish desires to give your children what they need. There's nothing wrong with that. But at what point are you becoming nothing and living for someone else? And this is not just about parenting, it's about life in general. And is that detrimental then to our own selves, our own hearts, our own beings? Are we in effect destroying ourselves by doing that? I understand the logic of people advising it. Oh, if something's too hard for you to cope with, then focus on things outside of yourself. But the problem with this is it doesn't really address anything, and it doesn't really help anything. It might pull some people through the hardest times in their lives, but then what are they going to do after that? They're never going to heal. They're never going to be on the road to recovery, because they're constantly looking outside themselves for answers. Depression and all things related to that is a very personal and soul-crushing experience. You often doubt yourself, you often fall to pieces, you just can't cope. And if you keep looking outside for answers, then I don't think that you're ever going to fully feel that balance that you need to keep fighting off depression. Now, I have said before that depression is, for me at least, a lifetime battle. And some days you don't win, some days you fall down, and it's the warrior in me, the warrior spirit in me, that says it's not about the falling down. You can fall down, you can scrape your knees, you can get covered in the mud when you fall, but you stand up. And that has just always been a part of who I am, and it's something in my own self, which is get up. You know, get up, fight on, never give up, never surrender. These are things that go through my head when I fall. You know, get up, you can, you know? And that was never even taught to me, because I never had anyone to teach me that, other than perhaps from a spiritual point of view, if you like. But I was, from a human level, there was no one there that taught me that. And I did that for myself. And where it comes from, I couldn't tell you. And I don't know where I'd be without that sort of mindset, that determination of will. The problem then comes with having the determination of will to get up, but not knowing where you're supposed to be going. What is the point? What is the purpose? And it becomes very difficult to do, to even know where to start, because I know who I am. I'm 27 years old. I know who I am now. And for better, for worse, you know. I've always considered myself to be human. Marmite. People either really love me or they really don't. And that's another thing about, you can't keep looking outside yourself, because if you base who you are, what you're fighting for, on the opinions of others, you're always going to be in conflict. There's always going to be people who tell you positive things. There's always going to be people who say negative things about you, and quite often we listen to the negative things more than we should. There are people that want to break us down for no good damn reason, and then there will be people who reach out to us even though they have no specific reason for doing so, other than they want to help. And to me, there is nothing worse in this world than seeing someone in pain and wanting to help them and not being able to. It gets me, like, in here. It really does. It's like I get this feeling like, I need to help, I need to help, I need to help, I need to help, I need to help. And maybe it's a Virgo thing, I have no idea. And it gets quite emotional for me. I'm like, I really want to help, and I know I can, and and I can't for whatever reason. It's a horrible feeling. I really don't like that feeling. It's quite an emotional video. I'll probably be sipping water all the way through. I was going to do all these other videos, and this is just forefront right now, and it was bothering me yesterday, and I just need to talk about it, I think. Purpose. Destiny. I don't know. It comes from having, as a young child, my problem comes from having, as a young child, having a very definite idea of who I wanted to be, right? I wanted to be a career bunny. Not like a literal bunny, but I wanted to be a career woman. I wanted to be career focused, and I could have been. I was smart. I still am smart, although sometimes it doesn't feel like it. I was top of the class. I'd got incredible grades. I could have been. And then all this crap happened in my personal life, and it just blew me to pieces. And now I'm 27. And I don't want to be a high-powered career person anymore. I don't think I would enjoy myself. And I no longer can focus for very long on things I don't enjoy. I seriously cannot do it anymore. And I've got to the point where I've had so much crap that I didn't enjoy in my life that I don't need anymore. As selfish as that is, but if you don't look after yourself, no one will. That's probably not true. I try to look after people all the time, and it's just an innate part of me, I grew up looking after my sisters, and I have that with people around me. I read a quote recently which was, we can't fix people, but we can offer them love, and that might just be enough. So I know who I am now. I know what I like, but I still don't feel like I truly know what my purpose is. I keep doing things that I enjoy. I keep making these YouTube videos. There are other things I'm engaging in that I enjoy, like I do some video game stuff. I do my crafting and creating stuff, my candles and things like that, because I just enjoy doing that. I love to express my soul that way. It's an outlet of creativity. I want desperately to be an author, but for about a month I've had the most chronic writer's block, and it is the most depressing thing in the world to somebody who really wants to be an author to have this block in front of them and they just can't push it out. I'm going to start carrying a pen and paper around though, because I keep, on occasions, like I keep getting weird spouts of imagination in the most inconvenient places, haven't got pen and paper to hand, and then by the time I get home or whatever, it's gone. I'm going to try and do some today because I was in the shower and I was getting words coming through to me again. So this is something that I think does resonate with me. This is who I want to be. And it's just finding the determination of will to get there. And this is where I think a problem comes in from having a life when you have very much lived for protecting, helping other people. Because you know how to do that, like, innately. You see people in pain and you know you can help them. But when it comes to yourself and you're like, I have no idea what to do. It's incredible to me that this is how things end up being, and it's such a difficult thing. It's incredible, and this is why I was thinking to myself, really, we can't keep telling people to live for someone else. There are dangers involved in that, because if you live for a partner, excuse me, if you live for a partner and then they turn out to be the wrong partner, then what? And if you live for a partner and you're putting up with stuff you shouldn't be putting up with, at detriment to your being, yourself, your heart, your path, then what? It's such a dangerous notion, and I keep seeing it everywhere, and I don't really want to disagree with people because I can see how it can be helpful, but I don't think it is full-on helpful to live through pain or a painful situation by focusing on someone else. Sometimes if the pain is so dire that you can't get through it, then you focus on someone else and it can help you get through that blip. But it's not going to sort out the overall problem. Now, I've said depression is a lifelong thing. You fight it, you battle it, you find inspiration where you can, you find strength where you can, and then you have to have something worth fighting for. I'm still struggling with that even now, you know. I know that I want to write. I know that within words and within creation is something beautiful that takes me out from who and where I am to who I want to be, and something meaningful in words and expression, and it's just always been a part of me, a strong part, you know. I can talk to people, affect people through words, and I have always been able to do it. I'm a cow in debate teams. Story crafting is something I don't know, it's just in here somehow. It's just a part of me. And that is something that I think that I am trying to gear myself towards fighting for. And that is for fighting for dreams. I think there is no greater calling than to fight for your dream. You know, something else that occurred to me that was quite depressing. I went for a walk this morning in the rain. I know, weirdo. Sometimes it just helps just to push yourself out of what is considered normal. I'm not normal, so who wants to be normal? Normal is boring. I was walking in the rain and thinking about, you know, how you hear in stories and you read in stories, and people's sort of worth and destiny and point in life basically is the heroes are basically there to overcome their nemesis, their evil, their arch villain type figure. And the whole point of them is so defined and so structured, and we eat up those kind of stories because it's a simplicity that we're just not afforded within real life. There are plenty of evil people within real life, you know, people murder people, people molest people, and all the rest of it. And even when it's done to us, it's very difficult to overcome that. You know, we are bound by laws that mean we can't, if we harm that person, we're going to be punished for it. You try and go through the justice system, and first-hand experience, it's very difficult to get any real justice. From my point of view, I had my father arrested. He confessed. He got off. There is no justice in the real world, or very little justice, you know. And then even if you haven't had specific horrible things happen to you, you can sometimes get overwhelmed by all the wrongs in the world. And you can't focus on it all because it will literally blow you to pieces. Like, the world is screwed up in a lot of ways, and you just have to do what you can. Every little thing that you can do, at least you're affecting the world in a positive way if you can. That's why I make videos. I may not have a huge target audience. I may never have a huge target audience, but even if I am reaching out to and helping anybody, then it's worth it. That has to be worth something. I'm just a girl talking about my experiences. I'm not qualified, I'm not perfect, I'm not right. It's just how I feel about what I have been through and where I am and where I'm going. I consider myself educated and push myself to carry on being educated, you know, but that doesn't mean anything. And really, to anybody but me. And I was just thinking in the rain how depressing that thought is, that sometimes we just don't have a purpose, a set purpose, and we have to pick something. And that's why I was thinking the only thing that feasibly makes sense to me is picking your dream and trying your best, because otherwise you get lost. And there is so much of that going on, you know. There are people who flail about and take it out on other people, and in school you can see it in like bullying and things, and unfortunately it carries on into adulthood in some cases. You know, you hear stories of any group, like I don't know, parents meeting groups, and people are just at each other's throats, and it happens in a lot of groups, and people are full grown adults and they're still doing it, and you just think, how unhappy do you have to be? this is particularly potent to me, this whole idea of what is worth fighting for, because I think I had everything I thought I wanted taken. And that leaves you in a situation of powerlessness. You're like, what the F do I do now? I'm safe now from harm, but I'm still a little bit adrift. I'm 27, is it too late? And you know, people are going to be like, you're 27, don't be silly. And I know that's silly. It's just that I think I wanted to accomplish so much more by now, and letting go of those expectations from back then, which aren't realistic given everything I've been through, is a complicated process. And there is nobody who is harder on yourself than you, at least not in my case. Excuse me. You know, there are so many things that I have to keep going over. It's like getting healthy is one, and I have to temper myself. I have to have rest, and it's like for 2 or 3 days I'd upped the exercise some more. I'd done it's not even proper English. I had exercised on the cross trainer as well as going on a long walk, so effectively I'd done an hour's worth of exercise. Today I hurt in my back. If it was anywhere else I'd probably ignore it, but my back's a bit temperamental, so I really don't want to hurt myself and then not be able to carry on exercising. So today I've been for a walk, and that's going to be it. And part of me is beating myself up, like I should be on the cross trainer, should be burning off those calories, I should be exercising, and the other half of me knows that if I do that I risk damaging myself and I need to pause. And that's the other thing about when we think what is worth fighting for, is we have to remember that we have to take care of ourselves. And this feeds into the whole idea of not just living for things outside of yourself, because if you only live for people outside of yourself, you forget to rest, you forget to take care of yourself, because bless them, but people will keep taking and taking and taking from you because they need you. And a lot of people aren't equipped to cope with that in the first circumstance and get quite ratty, or, you know, equipped to say, you know, I just need some time. People feel guilty. They don't want to say, you know, I need time for this. I can't right now, or whatever. People do feel guilty about it. So I think I will sum up here. I think this is, I've probably rambled for 20 minutes. No different from usual. I'm gonna finish with one of my quotes, favourite quotes, sorry, from The Last Samurai, which is one of my favourite movies, if not my favourite movie, which is odd because I'm not a Tom Cruise fan, but the movie is amazing, and obviously Japan, and I'm like, little bit obsessed. Yeah, so the quote is, change man for woman, as appropriate. I think a man does what he can until his destiny is revealed. And I think that has to be the truest thing I've ever heard, and it has always resonated with me. You know, we do what we can until our true destiny is revealed. So that's going to be it for this video. Many blessings.